Hi guys, so it's been a while, but I'm in the middle of peak wedding season, so that's why it's taking me a while to get this video up. But if you watch my last video on the Tamron 35-150, you might have heard me say that I had an outdoor wedding potentially coming up that I could use it at next. And here we've got another POV from the outdoor wedding ceremony I had at the beautiful Netherdale House back at the start of June. And I'll play the POV and then come back with my thoughts on how the lens performed in these conditions at the end of the video. Enjoy.
And back down this side. Is that all right with you, Rory? Happy about that? If you want to do it a different way, is it easier for you a different way? No, perfect, good. He's going to pass the wedding rings to the people on the front row here, who asked to hold them for just a Siobhan especially, as Grandpa Gordon came from Torre. So here we are. This ceremony's taken a few months to plan, but in fact, this wedding has been incubating for much, much, much longer. Siobhan and Graham have chosen their vows, promises and readings, and we've worked together to create their own ceremony, which is very personal to them. They have the perfect playlet, and think of Granny Gina, who's unable to be at today's celebration. They'd also like to remember with fond gentleness those no longer with us. Grandpa Gordon, Grandpa Nigel, are in the hearts of those who love them. Graham and Siobhan wish to acknowledge the role of their family, so they know that it's often the help and support of those around them as well as from each other. Are you happy for Graham and Siobhan to be married today? And are you content to wish them well as they take this first step in their married lives together? Thank you. Please take your seats. As they take this step into the future and confirm their commitment to each other, are you content to support Graham and Siobhan both on their wedding day and in the years to come? We are. Did we hear that? Was it loud enough? Are you content to support Graham and Siobhan both on their wedding day and in the years to come? We are! Wow, that was fantastic. Well done. Thank you. That was magnificent. So, this is turning into a very active wedding for you all. Now we'll talk a little bit about Siobhan and Graham. And as the ceremony goes on, we'll also see them make their promises to each other, exchange rings, and make that legal commitment. Now, Graham and Siobhan feel as if they've known each other forever, the question. However, Siobhan had other plans, as she was getting slightly hangry and needed food. So, Graham suggested to Siobhan that she stood in the sea while he took a candid photo of her for their memories and the gram. Yes, much to Graham's delight. Well done. They've already made a pledge to one another. So Siobhan and Graham are and always will be a team. Together they will work at their marriage and deal with all that comes their way. So
you managed to sit down?
I can see it yellow. I think they might have to lean on it because that table's
congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
I'll just close it again.
Hello. Hello again.
Yeah. Now this is a bit, because it's windy, we're
That's the most important shot, isn't it?
Where would you like these flowers?
Would
you like them there, or would you like them in front?
Probably just in front here, yeah. Just that's nice there. I think I'm turning that way because I'm going to shoot this way.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, yeah, you're there, that's fine. You're fine.
The signature, does it?
Yeah. Super, and I'll just... So now you're just going to have those quick photos, yeah?
Right, well, it's just the two of you. I'll get the two of you first. So just arm round Siobhan, Graham, and then hand on the table for me. Perfect. And then looking at me, guys. Beautiful. And just hold that there. Perfect. And then we'll get one with the two witnesses in, please. Perfect. There we go. And beautiful, guys. Eyes on this lens for me. Smiles. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon.
So again, the lens performed really well on the whole. There is something that meant I wasn't using the lens from the get-go, so I didn't actually photograph Siobhan coming down the aisle with this lens, and it wasn't until after the ceremony had got going that I switched over to it. And the main reason for that is I like my 50. That's one reason. So I like that focal length a little bit better. I was doing photo and video as well, which meant when I'm doing that and I've got the gimbal in one hand and a photo camera in the other, holding the 35-150 in that one hand might have been a bit of a challenge. So I decided I'll play it safe. I'll stick the 50 on and get some photos with the 50 over walking down the aisle, and then switch over after that. For the majority of the ceremony though, it was really good. I didn't find I was needing any extra reach at all. I did crop some of the photos that you saw in the video that were out at 150, but that was just for personal preference and editing, and I also knew that with the 32 megapixel files of the A7 IVs had plenty of room for cropping as well. In terms of the background blur you get at f2.8, quite happy with that. It's not a prime level, I would say that, but the versatility that this lens gives you in a wedding ceremony situation was brilliant. It meant that, for example, I could cover the whole ceremony on this lens. I can't remember, I think I had my 50 on the other body. I do use a dual harness, but I don't think I took many photos on the 50 throughout the ceremony because I just stuck with the POV once I switched over to that for as much of it as I could. The issue I've had in the past, I'm going to do a separate video on this, is when people are walking down the aisle. I've used the Tamron 35-150 a couple of times for this, and its hit rate is not that good. It's about 50% of photos that it gets tack sharp and nailed on focus. So I didn't want to risk that for Siobhan and her bridesmaids walking down the aisle here. The weddings I have used it at where I was second shooting and getting that second angle, so it felt like I could take a little bit more of a risk, and I wasn't in the know at that point either. It wasn't until I got home to take a look at the photos that I got that I realised these are not razor sharp. But I'm going to do a separate video on that a little bit later. I think if you're someone who wants to carry just one camera body and stick to one lens throughout the day, or swap that lens but mainly have one camera body on you, I think this is a fantastic lens for that. For me, because I use a dual harness and I do like the primes a little bit more, I'm not sure that this lens is for me long term. Yes, the versatility of being able to get wide, mediums and tights wherever you're standing is great. This ceremony, obviously, I was able to move around a fair bit more, so that wasn't so much of an issue. And certainly being outdoors, you've got plenty of daylight, so no issue with ISO and noisy images at all. So yeah, went really well on the whole with this, but I do think I prefer a prime look. I've also got the Tamron 70-180, so that gives me a bit of extra reach, and if I'm using two bodies, maybe I'd be better with that Tamron on one body and then a wider prime on the other. So that's something for me to think about for future for sure. But yeah, hopefully this video you can see that the images you get from it are beautiful and really sharp when it's a stationary target, and in terms of that versatility, I think that's its biggest selling point. Any questions, leave them down below. Happy to answer them as best I can. And if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.